since I've done this, you can tell. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the decision session of the Executive Leader Policy for Policy, Strategy and Partnerships. The more astute of you will have noticed I am not Councillor Douglas. She is unfortunately not available this morning due to attending the Yorkshire and Humber Climate Commission. So as a deputy, I am substituting for Councillor Douglas for this decision session. I have no interest to declare on the business before us today, which is one item that we're looking at this morning, and also the minutes of the previous meeting. I wasn't here, so I can't really approve those, so I will ask Robert to bring those to the next decision session for the Executive Leader for her to sign off then, if that's okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. We have no members of the public here to participate this morning, which is unfortunate because it's some really good news that we're bringing to the city this morning. But I'm sure people will enjoy the results of this decision in years to come, following on from today. So to take us through what that good news is, I would hand over to Paul McCabe, who will talk us through the report about where to locate some micro wood sites within the city. Paul.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. So the report is seeking exec member approval for micro wood creation, as you've said, at 2 recommended planting sites, following a successful funding application to the government's Coronation Living Heritage Fund, and then subsequent detailed site identification and appraisal. Each micro wood is going to be about 200 square metres in size, so that's basically the size of a tennis court, and it will be within York's urban area, which is one of the grant conditions. It's intended that we deliver these woods during the 2004-05 planting season, so that's between October and March, and the woods will be planted using something called the Miyawaki method, which is high density planting, native mixed broadleaf species, and delivering fast growing woods enriched in biodiversity. It's very challenging finding sites for tree planting in York. It's one of the biggest barriers we have in terms of our ambitions, and we think these are the most suitable sites. The policy basis for this planting is the council plan, setting the planting target of 4,000 more trees within York's urban environment, and the new micro woods will contribute to our overall longer term ambition to increase York's tree canopy cover to 13% by 2050. So the recommendation in the report is to approve the 2 preferred locations, one of which is in Holgate Ward and the other is in Rawcliffe and Clifton Without Ward, with delegated authority granted to the Director of City Development to select the exact location within the Rawcliffe location, following some more local consultation with residents. The report sets out how we've gone through the site identification and selection process. It outlines what consultation we've undertaken to get to this stage, and it includes an option appraisal as usual in these types of reports. There is a section on risk management because we've still got challenges in terms of delivery going forward. And I think that's basically where I'll stop, and happy to answer any further questions.
That's great. Thanks, Paul. So just to be clear then, so this has to be done this year, pretty much. And this is from the government's Coronation Living Heritage Fund. So was that a fund set up at the time of the coronation of King Charles?
It's set up afterwards, but it is designed to celebrate or mark the coronation of King Charles III. Yes. Okay,
and it's £38,748, which is a very precise figure that was allocated to us. But essentially, this is central government money the team has managed to secure for the city to plant some fast growing woods. So the Miyawaki method 18 times richer in biodiversity, I was reading. Is that because you've got a different range of trees going in there, or?
No, they're not necessarily. It's just that they're very high density. That increases the speed at which the trees grow.
Okay.
But it also enriches the level of biodiversity within those. It's from a method developed by a Japanese botanist called Miyawaki. I forget his first name. And it's something I think Prince Charles was particularly interested in himself. And so that is a requirement of the grant funding that we plan to that method.
Okay.
The other benefit of it is it's largely self-sustaining once it's established. So minimum maintenance going forward in the longer term.
Okay. Because it's that getting established business, isn't it? That getting over that first 5 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years, is it?
Well, part of the funding allocation covers 3 years maintenance towards successful establishment. After that, largely self-sustaining. Okay,
great. Okay, I think that's it for me. I think you covered everything else in your report there. So just the only other thing to note is that obviously for the micro wood behind the fox, that seems to be the most obvious place for it to go, and that looks like the only option for that particular area, and it looks like an ideal place to put it. Will complement the local environment and also the local pub, which is a superb establishment. There are 3 different spots to choose from up on Village Street and Rawcliffe, so that'll be subject to some further local consultation, and then the director can make a final decision. Yeah, fine with that. And if for any reason any of those should fall through, can't see any reason why they would. Surely everybody would love to have a wood near to where they live, but there may be some technical reasons why it can't happen. Then we have a reserve site, which is land to the south of Burnham Sports Centre in Eworth. So we've got a backup plan because these have to go in this year. That's great. In that case, I'm very happy to approve the recommendations that are in the papers on page 8 of paragraph 11, points 1 and points 2, and give this fantastic project the green light to get on and get planting. So thank you very much for bringing this report to us today. Look forward to seeing the wood. I know which one I'm probably more likely to do on a regular basis, but I'll try and visit the other one too. Okay. So yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Paul, and great work to the team for securing the money and finding the sites, which I'm guessing might have been the more difficult part of the task. There was a call out, wasn't there, for potential sites? Have we got a longer list, as it were, in case these opportunities arise again?
So yeah, we started off this process by doing a public consultation. So we invited residents across York, parish councils, whoever, to identify potential planting sites. We started with a list of about 50, actually, so it was a really good engagement. We went through various steps in terms of the sifting process. So quite a lot of the sites that were suggested didn't sort of meet the minimum criteria in terms of size or being urban, or those sorts of minimum criteria. Secondly, some of the sites, or many of the sites suggested, we were in sort of designated land areas. So like Hobmo, for example, you wouldn't want to plant woodland on Hobmo because of its designation. And then finally, to inform the shortlist that we arrived at, we used something called the Woodland Trust Tree Equity Score, which is an online tool that anybody can look at. It's a mapping tool where you can zoom into your local area and see what sort of rating it has in terms of its need for more trees. And all of these sites that we've chosen are in a high priority planting area of York. So we've targeted this intervention into the areas that most need more trees.
Okay, so we're basically bringing trees to tree deprived areas.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one of the aims of this council, is to concentrate resources where they're most needed. So that's great. So thank you very much for that, Paul. I have no urgent business that I've been notified of. So At that point, I will bring the meeting to a close and thank the council officers and technical team, and we'll happily pass this decision session back to Councillor Douglas when she returns. Thank you.